So here we are again. We're going all ride or die. It's a Saturday. Get to hang with me for about 30 minutes as I not waste time, be as efficient as possible. And we're going to do some carpool confessions as I hustle and flow. Kind of a little bit new format. I actually thought a little bit what I was going to talk about today. And today we're going to talk about normal versus abnormal housing market. So what's a normal housing market? Because all the articles I'm seeing right now saying the same thing. We are now in a buyer's housing market. Buyer's market, buyer's market, buyer's market. What does that mean? Well, first of all, they haven't figured it out now. None of this stuff makes sense, hasn't made sense in the longest time. And, for the last decade or so, even longer than that, we've been in a seller's market, an extreme seller's market. And I've been talking about it. I sit around, I talk around with, some of the best agents in the country, best agents here in Vegas, my company. So lately, one agent, she's been fired for the first time in her entire career. She's been in business 20 something years. And the reason she was fired is because, the person's house didn't sell. And it's like, how come my house hasn't sold? Well, it's been like a month. People have been spoiled. Well, houses normally don't sell in a month. Normally. People have seen for so long where houses are sold in a month or so that they've lost it lately. Normally, it takes 3 or 4 months to sell a house in a normal market. Well, we done hit back to a normal market, and people are losing their minds. And all we're seeing, on the news and papers, if anybody reads the dang paper anymore, on the internet, what's it saying? We're in a buyer's market. Well, let me tell you something. We ain't in a buyer's market. We're in a normal market. To anybody else, that's a buyer's market. Because houses are now taking 3 and 4 months to sell. That's because that is historically how long they take. People aren't used to history because people have bought a house, sold that house, bought another house, may have sold a house, and now they're selling a third house. It's like, oh, it's never been this difficult. No, it's never been this difficult to you because we've been in such a housing shortage for such a long time that houses were selling for so quick that it didn't meet up with historical norms. So now that things are meeting up with historical norms, they don't know how to take it. It's kind of like how interest rates right now. I mean, these are not keep talking about how, agents going like, oh, back in my day, 35 years ago when I entered real estate, it was normal for interest rates to be 12%, 13%, 14%. Yeah. And in your day, houses cost $45,000. Nobody wants to go back there, right? Except for some buyers. They'd love to have a house for $45,000. But ask any seller, would you like to sell your house for $45,000? No. Of course, houses did sell for $45,000 here. Man, those shadows are kicking in here. Look at them shadows. Tell the time is changing here in the year, huh? So people are just starting to just lose it. And buyers, they got all those choices now. Yet, again, prices are not coming down. Besides, so many houses on the market, prices aren't coming down. Interest rates, yep, they came down and then for some reason went back up. Everybody's talking about, oh yeah, as soon as the Fed lowers the rates, interest rates are just gonna start falling and everything's gonna come into place. Again, I've already told folks, interest rates have nothing to do with what the Feds do. It's the 10-year rate on the bond. But hey, nobody gonna listen. So anyway, we're in a normal market now. So if you're a seller, expect nationwide to spend 3 to 4 months on the market. So what does that mean? That means you can't just go list your house normally. Sometimes it's gonna sell faster, and expect that house gonna be off the market, sold, and you moving in a month or 2. Don't expect that anymore. You need to start your planning and have everything planned out so you get it sold in the amount of time. What happens if it sells too quick? You need to have all of those plans. You need to start working with your agent now and have all of your contingencies, planned out. What if it sells in a month? What if it sells immediately the first weekend? Because I priced it right. Again, houses that are priced right still sell. Unfortunately, so many sellers are still overpricing their homes. And yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. When you do that, it's going to just get you less money, more time on the market. But those who are pricing right sell for actually, believe it or not, The most money, least amount of time. Buyers, these sellers, they still want their house to sell in a month, yet they still want to overprice their houses. The ones that are right priced, don't even approach them. I'll tell you right now, you're going to have possibly multiple offers. You're not finding a bargain. I've already said this to you before. All these people will call up because, oh man, I found this bargain. No, it was priced right to begin with because they wanted to sell it. You didn't find a bargain. Everybody else, if it's on the MLS, everybody else saw it too. Everybody else saw something. Everybody else is thinking what you thought. Remember, if everybody else can see something, the emperor ain't wearing no clothes. You get it? Emperor ain't wearing no clothes. They got to see it too, which means they're running after it too. So the exact opposite of these sellers who are going, I want to price up here because the people are going to, no, go in strong. Biggest thing is look for the sellers who are overpricing a little bit, who are now starting to panic because people are not used to a normal market. Just take advantage of it just a little bit. What this does do is, I hate to say it, because there's going to be some agents who are going to be mad. It gives you the time to look now. You don't have to, put up with this whole agent going like, oh, you got to make a decision because, they want a paycheck. You got time to now look and find a better house. So trust me, I listen to these sellers all the time. They're overpricing. They're going to continue to overprice. They've gotten too used to overpricing, and they're just going to overprice themselves out of the market. And then when time comes and they lower it, guess what? It don't matter if the market is caught up with them, but they're now pricing it right for the market. Guess what? You and the other buyers are seeing the same thing. Even though it now takes longer to sell, why did it take so long? Why has it been on the market so long? Boom, they're going to have to take a lower price. This is why I tell sellers not to play that game about overpricing or I'm just waiting for the right buyer, or I'm just pricing up here for the low ballers. Guess what? Low ballers or just move on. Mostly. Some of them, because of their personalities, are going to lowball. I remember plenty of times a low baller just lowballs to lowball to see if somebody will take it. And they will pay full price. Trust me. For the sellers, lowballers, it's their personality that they're going to lowball. All you got to do is just push back. If you right price your home, like let's say your house is worth $500,000, somebody offers you $475, they're just pushing. Push back. It's worth $500. They know it's worth $500. They're seeing if you're going to take it. You don't have to take it. Push back at $5. If they don't take it, move on. If your house has been on the market for a couple of weeks, move on. If it's right price, move on. They're just going. It doesn't matter what house they put in. They're going to put in $2,500. It's their personality. By the way, do you really want to deal with somebody like that? Think about it. Do you really want to deal with somebody like that? They're going to keep pushing. When I was going through negotiations classes, I'm actually a certified negotiator. These people, they're going to just keep pushing back. If they put in $475 for your $500,000 house, oh, they took $475. I know it's worth $5. They took $475. What else can I get? You can't fill that bowl of humanity of somebody who wants to get more and more and more. That's the same thing on the buyer side. Somebody who overprices, that's why they lose. So don't worry about trying to when it comes to pricing your home, don't worry about that. Price it right to begin with, and you're always going to get the most amount of money in the least amount of time. Same thing for these agents who try to go in there and they give you the magical number to BS so they can get the listing, so they can get you to lower it later. It doesn't matter if you lower it by, sell it for less later. Guess what? They still make money. They made it 2 months later, but they still made money, but you're out of 2 months of payments that you had to pay. It took you 2 months longer to sell your house, to move on for what you needed to do. You actually made less money. Oh, they made a little bit less in commission, a little bit less. And it took them 2 months to get their commission. Think about that. Think about it. Okay? So is it really worth it just for that little bit of money? On the buyer side, yes, be selective, but don't try to sit around and waste too many people's times, because I'm telling you right now, a lot of agents, especially now with having to have the contracts, that works two ways. I hear a lot of agents are starting to just drop their buyers because it's like, wait a minute, this person's wasting my time. I'm going to tell you a little story about a friend of mine. I'm only going to use his first name. He's been an agent for like over 30 years. I mean, mostly part-time, but Guy still sells a lot of houses, but this is in a place with like low housing prices. I mean, like low, down south. I don't know what the prices are now, but I'm not going to mention the area. It's down south. And worked with this one lady one time, and he signed a buyer broker agreement with her. This is years ago. And every weekend they would go out looking at houses, and all the houses were under like $40,000. I'm telling you, it's low. And she would find something wrong with every house. And he was like, oh no, this was this, and this was this, and this is wrong with it every weekend. Now at the end of a year, she goes, well, Mr. XYZ, I don't feel like I'm ready to buy a house now. It's like, well, why'd you go out every weekend looking at houses? Well, I felt obligated because I signed a contract. He's sitting there going like, all these weekends I missed with my family. Every weekend. I spent more in gas than I would have made on a commission. And it was like, he's never going to do that again. I'm telling you, a lot of agents, they're not playing that. It's kind of like a couple of weeks ago during one of these confessions, I talked about, the family where I worked like 6 months to get them ready to buy a house. And then once they were ready, got them their pre-approval and everything. Oh, we're not going to work with you because you weren't out every weekend showing us houses and we wanted to see houses. It just goes, going to drop you now. They're not going to play that stuff anymore. I'm going to ask you this question deep down. As much as you may want to see a house, would you waste your weekends with somebody who can't even buy a house? Your weekends. Think about it. Agents are thinking about that now too, especially when there's no guarantee of a paycheck anymore. Because with that now being on the MLS, they don't know if they're going to get paid. So that does go two ways now. So just be very careful on that and what you're asking for out of that agent. This is like nationwide. I'm just being very honest with you. So think about it. And another one I want to put out there, I put it in my last video, which is definitely going to show well before this one here. I was talking with an inspector the other night. I said it in the video, but I didn't even bring it up. He brought it up. I was asking him how business was doing. This kind of tells me something. He's like, business is great. I'm busier than ever. Now, remember, I done said what I keep saying. Okay, yeah, prices are up, but sales are way down, right? So how are you busier than ever, other than being a good inspector? Most of my business is now coming from sellers. You listening to me? Most of my business now is coming from sellers. It's like y'all listening to my videos or looking at them. You're looking on the YouTubes on the TV and you're looking at my videos and they're going like, yeah, all the sellers are now realizing they've got to get an inspection done before they put their houses on the market. I'm glad y'all listening. Because they're realizing that in order to sell a house and get the most money, the buyers want to feel safe. It's like a guy told y'all that. So they're putting their houses on the market after they get an inspection, getting all the major items fixed so they can throw that paper down in front of the buyer and go like, look, I've already got an inspection. I got this stuff fixed. Like I predicted this stuff. It's like, I've done this before. So telling you these are the things you need to do as a seller and as a buyer. Doesn't that make you feel good? Give you that warm and fuzzy that already had an inspection by the city, that you got a 1-year warranty on, that has already bought down your interest rate, probably paid your closing costs. All 2/3 of the sellers are now paying your closing costs. Come on, you're in a catbird seat right now as a buyer. This is the best time ever in like my 12 years in real estate that I've ever seen for buyers, period. So yeah, you are in a good position as a seller. Like I started this off, we're in a normal market. All of the stuff out there, everything article you read said we're in a buyer's market. We're not. Yeah, it's a buyer's market because it feels like a buyer's market because y'all aren't used to what a buyer's market really looks like. If we were in a buyer's market, a real buyer's market, you know how long it would take to sell a house? In a real buyer's market, like 6 and 7 months. It's taking 3 and 4 months to sell a house now. That's not a buyer's market. So forget that stuff about we're in a buyer's market. We're in a normal market. Enjoy it. For the buyers out there, enjoy the fact that the sellers think you're in a buyer's market. Sellers, don't get too overconfident about my video because I'm one person who's telling you the truth, whereas the reality is, yeah, all the buyers and all the other sellers think we're in a buyer's market. So go ahead and start preparing your house. Get it ready to sell for real. Don't play any games when you get ready to sell it. All the buyers. So anyway, get yourself ready. This is a good time for you to buy. Anyway, for my military brothers and sisters, you know the drill. Alpha Mike Foxtrot. It's kind of a shorter one than usual. It's just laying down some truths for you. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of moving pieces. A lot of people are still listing their houses right now. We're going into wintertime. For the rest of you 50 to 80% of folks, you know we still love you. Got another video popping up right now. Go ahead and take a look at it. I'm going to meet you over there and got some real good videos coming up. I'm going to see you there.